Sponsored by Modelo.
Broken axles incoming. Ew. Oh. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to an episode of Dirtnation Off-Road. So today we are bringing you another episode of working on Winchers, because after a year and some change of use, abuse, and all the above, things started to break down. I expected them to. Wanted to use it as is, and we've had some fun with the truck. I'll drop a little highlight reel right here. Now, after doing all this with Winchers, the automatic transmission is finally starting to give out. Pops reverse. The transfer case would pop 4-low. I'd have to hold it into 4-low and hold it into reverse if I wanted to reverse in 4-low. It was bad. It was getting really bad. So it's time to make some upgrades. So we got a few things that we got to take care of on the truck. Mainly, we're going to be doing doublers with the manual transmission swap. And then we have a couple other things that we'll go over. Why are my glasses fogging up? Sorry about that. We got a few things. We'll talk about them as we get into them. But as of right now, I already got a head start on everything, and I pulled out the automatic transmission. Now, shout out to this thing because it's taken some abuse, and you can see down here, look at, I see right down there, that's freaking, what is that shit called? JB Weld? That shit is JB Weld right there. I ripped the tranny mount off to this thing like one of the first days that we had it sassed, and then we just put JB Weld on there, and it's been running with a cracked transfer case ever since. But tranny is out. We got the new tranny over there, and then we have some other parts that we'll show you along the way, and then trucks over there nice and stripped for all the fun things that we're gonna do for all the things we're gonna do to it today. Anyways, Mr. B Wrenching is back. He's the world's best helper when it comes to winter stuff. We did the sass together, and he helped me with the motor swap. So let's just start jumping into it, show you kind of some of the stuff that we're gonna be doing on the truck today, as well as the following days, because we probably won't finish today, but whatever. I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's get to it. So first things first that we're gonna be working on, the freeze plugs on the old 3.4 is leaking. So you guys can see in here. So you can see right there, there's one of the freeze plugs. The front ones are leaking on both sides, and then those are kind of already rotted out. So we're going to change all four, as well as the two in the back. Luckily, I already took off the starter. Since the transmission's gone, you can get to the back ones, and because the truck has a body lift, it's not too hard to get to those freeze plugs. Yeah, we got 6 of those, the O'Reilly Special. So first things first, draining the coolant as well as the oil from the motor, because we got to pull the oil filter from that side, and then because we're pulling all the freeze plugs, the coolant's going to come out anyway, so we might as well just drain it. But in the meantime, let's show you some of the stuff that we're going to be installing. We've got a R151 manual transmission. Now this is the transmission that comes stock with this truck if it was a manual, so it comes with the 3.0, which is, I have the 3.0 sitting over there. So I got that manual transmission, and then we have an adapter that's going to go to our doubler. So this is 2 4-cylinder transfer cases. These are the gear-driven cases that come like 81 to like 94 Toyota pickups and 4Runners, but it's 2 of them mated together. As far as I know, the rear one is like 4.7 to 1 transfer case. This is the stock 2.3 to 1 transfer case. And then I have all the shift-in, linkage, and everything that I need for this. And then because we're doing a manual swap, we have a couple other things that we need. So we have the slave cylinder, and then we have the cylinder that goes to the transmission. We have a clutch kit. We have a clutch pedal with a brake pedal that needs to get installed. And then I already talked about, this is the adapter that I got from Trail Gear. And then we have some motor mounts from Solid Off-Road. These are pretty darn important, especially with how much we're sending it, because I can show you guys over here. Motor mounts, transmission mounts, I blew them on this truck with relative ease. So this transmission mount, I actually installed this on the truck when I did the sass. And you can see, I already blew that transmission mount from all the sending it and everything. So that was a stock mount. So we're going to be replacing with 100% solid mounts, which have polyurethane bushings. It's going to vibrate a little more, but these are going to be solid and a little bit better for sending it all around town. George has the cellas ready to go.
Now that breakfast is over,
We're not getting shit done today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Follow. All right, George is already getting started. Check it. There's we got some freeze plug action for you. Anyways, and then we got some pink shirt fellas here.
This is my pink wrenching shirt now, bro. It got ruined.
Let me see what it says. Stand up.
There's a hair in the way.
I agree with one of those phrases. You guys take the guess of which one. You see, Bryce, there's a reason you call mechanics for mechanic work. George already got the first one out. This is one of like 20. I don't know how many are on this motor, but there's a lot. There is a lot. Yeah, there's one hiding underneath the motor mount. But Bryce is cleaning up inside there. All right, let's show you how the mounts are not supposed to look. If I could shake it like that, imagine what the fucking torque of the motor does. All fucking 200 horses or whatever this has. All right, we're gonna do a motor mount test.
Oh God.
No, that one's. Oh, that one's already fucking loose.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's why.
Oi! Chupapi! Moan Yenyo. Oh God, this is disgusting.
That shit is blown to bits, dude.
These were new, dude. When I swapped the motor, these were new.
These were new when you did the 3/4 swap?
Yeah, these are brand new.
Oh my God.
Fucking A!
Ouch.
You guys want to go to Chocolate Thunder?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That'll do it.
If you did those with the 3/4 swap, bro, that's not even like a lot of wheeling. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, that's a whole year of hucking it.
Yeah.
Just think about how many times I've bounced this thing.
We're gonna use that solid motor mount.
These right here, not meant for space.
Not NASA approved.
Bam, look at that. That'll do it. So we got one side taken apart, and we're gonna continue. Wow, what the man?
What?
That's it, huh? That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
So I got our new solid off-road mount in. What they do is they take stock mounts, which is this part right here, and then they gusset this piece into there, put 2 polyurethane bushings, and then you have a bolt for the pivot point, and then this is also like a stock point that they gusset inside there. So all in all, makes for a pretty solid mount. Now, the motor might vibrate a little bit or a lot of bit. Doesn't really matter, but this is going to be a lot stronger. And we are going to get more torque out of the engine because you're not going to have to lose everything into these rubber isolator mounts. It's just going to be straight to all power, baby. Now we're going to this side. It's going up. Bud Light presents. Fuck, that one's disconnected too. Keep going. All right, that's good.
Well, the other one's built for the front of the sticker.
Oh yeah. So what are we doing with this one, Bryce?
We have to burn this in because this goes to our clutch here, and Dustin's thick ass will shatter this for sure.
Okay.
And then we'll absolutely lose your mounting, and your brakes and your clutch will fall off.
There.
That won't be good.
What happened now, George? Did you say strip?
Yeah,
Don't do it. Don't do that to me. We got to get it off. How bad is that one?
Actually,
Oh, that one's actually solid, huh?
Yeah,
Well, it's
not as bad as the other one.
Yeah, the other side was bad.
Yeah, this one actually
Okay.
still has some rubber attached.
So this one was holding on the rest of the truck.
Not too bad.
People with dogs that weld, their dogs just fucking blind? Comment below. Are your dogs blind if you weld?
No.
You don't weld.
Wow. Thanks, asshole.
Yeah,
So we
you're
have
right.
Manny
Okay.
over here schooling us on how it's done.
So we brought in a real Toyota guy. I didn't want to take all the credit here, but yeah.
To teach fake Toyota guys.
So like, watch. So watch that spline right there. I'm gonna turn this a full turn.
That was 1 to
This
1.
is not gonna move. Oh, yeah, it's moving now. So those should always be moving at the same.
These should be moving at the same
Right.
time. So that was all the way forward.
This
So if
one's
I do
always
this
gonna be
back,
different.
so what does that do? That should disconnect. Well, that disconnects this right here. So that's 2 and 4.
That's two-wheel drive.
This is 2-wheel drive right here.
What are you planning on doing over here, Dustin?
Bad installs with Dustin, with Manny supervising. We're gonna start mating the transfer case to the transmission. So we got the kit from Trail Gear. Comes with this So it's supposed to spline onto there. It's a 23 spline, and then you have a 23 spline that'll go into that. So that's how they mate together. But you put this together, and then we have to put in the seal. So we're gonna tap the seal into place right there, and then that'll, but that's after we put the adapter on. Yeah, but the key is the part. As long as you have that down, you're good. Wow, I almost know what I'm fucking doing sometimes.
Yeah,
Yonder,
sure, Dick.
yonder. This is usually how you don't apply it, but we're gonna apply it like this today.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
That's Saul, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, where's Saul?
Now don't smear it. Shut up. I guess.
I smear it. You don't smear it? I smear it.
I definitely smear it.
Shiny new parts going to old shitty parts. My favorite.
Give me the fucking impact. No, I'm just kidding.
Fucking okay.
Snap.
Sponsored by Modelo site.
Yeah.
See how it's collapsing? Look at, man, he was right.
Make sure you get the torque right. Torque it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, torque it correctly, alright?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Hey, click, click.
Click, click.
I've got a couple bolts on my truck torqued up.
And that old righty Lucy. All right, shove her in, bro.
I could do that.
Yeah,
Kind of fun on you.
come on. See, this is what I was talking about.
Spin on that.
Go, 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 go. Try again. There you go.
Coming. Yeah.
Oh, that's the wrench.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh my God. Oh.
hey, righty, tighty, righty, Lucy.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Oh, no.
1, 2, 3. Oh, my thumb. Okay, so we're gonna have to scoot it back.
Yeah.
There you go. Anyways, we got our
No,
transfer
it was the part
case
I wanted.
and transmission mated.
I said die immediately.
We're gonna start going this way. I'll mate you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You motherfucker. Here. With you hiding in there.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby.
I think that equals 9 countries. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Wait, what's your dad's phone?
I hate bolts. 14s, worst ones.
He's like, fuck that bolt.
We almost rage quit right now. Let me show you what happened. So we're finishing off the solid off-road mounts. You see that bolt right on the top of that line right there on the red bracket? That one was very, very difficult to get in, but we got all of them in. Now we're ready to drop the motor. So the motor will be sitting on its own weight. George also changed all the freeze plugs. You can see those nice shiny freeze plugs in the back over there. He also did the 2 on the back of the motor. So we're gonna be solid on freeze plugs for another 250,000 miles.
Yes, sir.
We'll be good to go. All right, I think that's gonna wrap up today. We got the transmission and the transfer case mated. I still got to get some other parts. I need a cross member, which is currently out of stock. And I also need the hydraulic line, pretty much like a brake line that goes from the master cylinder or the slave cylinder all the way down to whatever that cylinder is called. But we did finish the motor mounts and we finished the freeze plugs. So those are all solid.
And don't forget to throw coolant before you throw on the transmission. That way the back...
Oh, yeah, that's true. We're going to throw in some coolant right now. And then other than that, we're going to continue another day. We have a big old mess to clean up, as you guys can see. Pizza boxes, beers, and Toyota parts. Everybody's favorite. Yep. Until next time, we'll be back at it again this week or next. Hello and good morning. We are back at it with Winchers. Right exactly where we left off last time. I did pick up a few parts during the week just to try and get this installation done. So first of all, I had to get a cable for the hydraulic clutch, or for the slave cylinder, I guess you call it. So one of the things that we have to put in today is this, because we are changing to a manual transmission. You do need this right here, and then you also need the pedal. So I have the pedal set up somewhere over there. So we're gonna have to take out the old pedal, put that in, put this in. This hooks up to the transmission. This line goes in between both of those. That way you have fluid pushing. That way you're able to shift the transmission. But there's a couple things we picked up for the transfer cases, which we'll find right here. So we got the shifter plates. We got 2 of those. I got grease on me. A couple shifter plates. We got shift knobs. We got hardware. A couple of those things to put in. Up first, we're gonna work on doing the clutch pedal. So luckily, this assembly right here is the same thing that you're gonna find on the inside on the automatics, but it just adds this part right here. So what it does is this bracket is still right here. So there's 2 holes that we're gonna have to drill in order for this to go through the firewall right here. So you can see up in there, there's a couple holes that we got to drill. So I'm going to drill those holes, and then I got to take off the bolts as well as the wiring for the brake pedal, and then we're going to pull that old one out so that we can put this new shiny non-rusted one in. All right, welcome to Upside Down with Dirt Nation. I'm gonna attempt to show you guys what I'm doing. So I already took the cotter pin off of there, but you have to take off the brake assembly to the master cylinder, as well as all these bolts, and then this pedal should come out. And then there's also this wiring harness that you just unplug and take off, and there it is. That one's off already. All right, so finally got it out. That took some work. What I ended up having to take off was you had to take off this 14 right here that goes through the bracket. That way you can slip it away from the steering column, because that was the point, was that it was wrapped around the steering column. Couldn't get it out, but did some nuzzling, some wrestling. Also, the brake booster had to come out a little bit to clear through this hole right here. So pretty much we have to take apart this one now to kind of do the same thing. So the wiring for the pedal looks like, so the clutch pedal came off of a 4Runner. Obviously mine is a pickup, so I'm swapping these so that I don't have to change anything wiring wise. So that right there is just to control your brake lights. Up next, we got a drill for the master cylinder. So it's about 1 inch wide for this little, you have to make spacing for this and for this to go through. This is about 1 inch, so I got 1.5 inches just to clear a little bit bigger. Although it might, you know, I mean, dust might get in there, but this is a dirty truck anyway, so we'll be fine. We already have our pilot hole started, but we're gonna use, I think, one of these called a hole saw. I forgot what they're called, but so you see it's getting a little hot there. You're supposed to put oil, but I didn't put oil. It's almost done cutting anyway, so let's finish. There. Bada bing, bada boom. Next, we'll go ahead and reinstall this. You had to put the clutch pedal on because it doesn't fit in there, and then kind of be solid from there. We'll see. All right, I had to do some finagling, and I had to like drill out the hole just a little bit because things didn't line up perfectly. This is my first time doing this, so you want to make some accurate measurements. You know, they always say measure twice, cut once. I measured once and cut like 5 times, so we definitely don't want that. But master, or the slave cylinder, is in, and I do have the pedal in. Before we put in the brake pedal, we want to actually connect the clutch pedal to the slave cylinder. So I'll show you guys in here before I actually do it. You can see where the pedal, you see that hole where the pedal goes through the slave cylinder right there. I have to put that pin through there with the cotter pin so that when it depresses, it'll pull it back. Up and away. Like that, I think. Check it out, guys. So something that okay, we have brakes now. All right, next we're gonna bleed the slave cylinder. So in order to do that, you need one of these bleed kits. I got them from O'Reilly's, so that I'm able to you know, it has a bunch of different fittings, you know, Toyota, Nissan, whatever, Chevy, you know, all the above. It's got metric and standard fittings, and it comes with 2 hoses, and you can use that to either bleed your brake master cylinder or the cylinder for the clutch. And then to bleed it is pretty straightforward. You just attach the line to the hose, which will go into the fluid, and then as you press the clutch pedal which you can see right there. See how I'm pushing fluid, and what it's going to do is just push all the air. All right, up next, we're going to be cutting holes. Now, since this was an automatic transmission, we had this little hole that was for the shifter. We're going to need a lot more space for, you know, the doublers, which means we're going to have 2 sticks plus a manual transmission stick. So we're going to have to cut some holes right here in order to make that fit. So I'm making a rough line right here as well as right here, and then I'm going to cut that square out. Now, that's probably going to be smaller than what we need because I did measure on the transmission, comparing it to the bell housing and kind of where it's going to be from there. But I'm going to cut that for now, see how that looks, measure it. If I have to cut more, then I'll cut more. But it's going to be different for whatever vehicle you have and all that shit. So just kind of guesstimate and cut. So I trimmed away some of the carpet right here, so we're not doing too much damage. Now, you guys wondering, I do have a fire extinguisher handy just in case a fire starts in here, because I am grinding with carpet. I'm not pulling the carpet. All right, up next, we're gonna be working on the pilot bearing. So automatic transmission vehicles don't come with the pilot bearing. Behind the flex plate, it's just an empty hole right here, which this one is kind of rusted out, but we gotta install this little sucker right here. This is for manual transmissions, and that bearing will just go right inside there, and you want it to sit flush. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out, and then we're gonna grease this, and then you just tap it in with a hammer as well as a punch. So you use a punch to kind of keep it even, and then you can smack it into place. So we're just gonna clean out, you see all that rust on the inside of there? So that's good. We're gonna take a little bit of grease, just put that on the inside right there. Get the bearing set into place. Oh, did we really get that even? Wow. All right, so a couple things I did off camera. I filled up the oil, as well as I replaced the line on the oil cooler. You guys can see down there, that's the new line right in there. And then I topped off the coolant, so we're still gonna have to, you know, burp the system, do all that. But now the engine's all topped off, ready to get fired up once we're ready to go there. And then inside, I swapped out the seats. So just on the driver's side, this is the Honda Prelude seat from the Car Crush. If you guys watch that video, if you didn't, I'll link it below so you can check it out. But I just had to drill out the bracket a little bit to fit right there. And then the back, I just had to drill into the body to fit that bottom one. And then I'm gonna have to do the same thing back here. You guys can probably barely see it, but I just have to do a little bit of fab work to make that work, but we can do it. But new seats and winchers, kind of nice. Pretty happy with that. A lot nicer than the stock ones. Those things were stabbing me and hurting me and all those fun things. So we're solid for now. All right, who's ready to watch us throw in this transmission and be very, very, very terrible at it? Look at, there's our flywheel. We got our clutch. So I just looked up a YouTube video how to install this. So me and Austin, look at Austin decides to show up only when we're working on Winchers, which is like once every 2 years. So anyways, we're gonna get started throwing in this transmission, and then we just picked up our cross member from Yotamasters today, so presumably we'll be able to get this transmission in. And I don't think I have drive shafts that work right now, but we'll have a transmission that's in. So we're gonna get started before it gets too dark. Let's get it. So using that clutch alignment dildo tool and then putting it all in there, and that'll hold the clutch into place. Alrighty. All right. As you guys can see, we're getting close-ish.
Okay.
So
Go up. Okay, that's good right there. That's like pretty great. We just gotta go forward now.
and we'll spin them Oh wait, it has to go
That
forward.
is very close. That, I mean, it's now I can't. I have no visual on nothing.
All right, transmission is nearly in. Look at, you see that? That's close. We're getting very close. So we're gonna get the transfer case cross member ready. So we picked this up from Trail Gear. This thing's pretty cool because it bolts into 2 mounts for both your transfer cases. It's adjustable and it also works as a skid plate. So it's got like a triple whammy thing going on. It's made of good steel. This thing's solid. And then I have 2 of the bulletproof mounts. Now what's good about these is, like I said, they are polyurethane bushing, so they are bulletproof. So they're just like our solid mounts from Solid Off-Road, because when you do your mounts, you don't want to go, you know, stock and then solid on another part because you're going to destroy it. You want to go solid and solid so that you're good to go. So we're going to start putting the hardware together and everything. Comes with some hardware. You got to use some of the stock hardware to put this on, but this is going to help us align that transmission a little bit better.
He said, be a man, lift it.
Yeah. Be a man.
All right, let's see.
So let me get on your left.
Because I mean, I'm not even squishing it, and it's already like lots of resistance.
You're rotating the wrong way. The other way. Okay, now there's a bolt. There's a screwdriver.
Oh,
hole.
in the hole? There
Yeah.
you go. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Did you throw some lube on it?
Yeah, there's lube on the input shaft.
On the shaft, yeah.
So it is moving just real slow.
All right, progress is progress. See that transmission? She's in. She's in. So right now we're gonna put, I have a steel braided line for the slave cylinder. Is it the slave cylinder? Clutch cylinder?
Clutch cylinder, yeah.
So we have to connect that down to the transmission, and then we can bleed the clutch real quick, and then fire it up maybe. Mr. B wrenching, you can see him up there. He's pouring into the transfer case from the top, and I got the bottom one cracked, so we'll know when that's filled up. But you guys can see it's all bolted up. It's all ready to go. This Trail Gear freaking cross member is nice. Can't wait. Whoop! It's full. It's full.
All right.
Yeah, so we picked up all these parts from Yotamasters. Let's get you everything that you need and more, and some things that you don't. All right, so I think we're finally ready to fire up the truck. The transmission and the transfer case all have fluid. The motor is presumably good. I gotta tighten. Remind me, I gotta tighten the steering. I gotta tighten these right here. I couldn't do it because I need someone to hold it while I tighten it.
Okay.
Well, we gotta tighten those.
For sure. Make sure everything's on neutral.
Yeah. We have a working tractor beam.
Yeah, besides my ears, is it? Oh no!
You also,
Fuck yeah! Well, success, fellas.
Hell yeah, man.
I need to go get an exhaust made. My drive shaft works, which means I can drive it. And then I gotta bleed that clutch fluid again.
Yeah.
And I'm also gonna drive around a little bit. I'm gonna change the trans and the transfer case fluids.
Hell yeah, now you get to drive triple pito now.
¿Cómo se? Pito?
Triple pito, like my buddy Flaco would say. Now you're driving pito?
Show! Hello and good morning. Last you saw, we were in the garage. We got the transmission in. We fired it up. The truck was working. Now, a couple updates since then. I've been working behind the scenes, working on some little things, just clearing up details here and there. But let me go through what we've gotten taken care of. The drive shaft that I bought from the fella that gave me, or I bought the transmission from, that drive shaft works with the doubler. So I have a rear drive shaft, and the truck is actually moving under its own power. Although the exhaust is still chopped, so it sounds disgusting right now, but it is drivable. Also, I went ahead and put on the stock doors rather than the tube doors. indoors because I have it parked outside. But now we got some extra special that we're working on today. Now we just picked up our tires from 4 Wheel Parts in West Covina. We actually bought a set of used tires, which I'll show you what we have right now, and then we picked up a new set of wheels from them, and then they mounted and balanced them for us and did all that stuff. But we're gonna get those mounted right now. Look at these fat boys. So Winchers, for this whole time that we've been using her, has been on 37s. Now these tires are 38s, but the truck's been running on 37s in its current setup, and we're gonna change that today. We are going 40s. So RIP axles, RIP ring and pinions. Yes, I know. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's all comment all the things that are gonna happen. It's okay, but I'm willing to risk it because this truck's gonna be on sticky freaking neatos. Now I know these tires work because our good friend Themo uses them on his JK, and he has the loads, I think the load E versions. So I have the load C versions, which means these are stickies. And then you can see our wheels down there. So we just went pretty simple. We went the Pro Comp Steelies. I think this is the Series 97. So we got those, got them all mounted up. They're ready to go. So I'm gonna get started installing these so we can see the truck on 40s. And then I already have an appointment with the exhaust shop to get that taken care of. And then we still gotta make a front drive shaft. We have a bunch of other stuff that we're gonna take care of in this video. But for now, let's get to the 40s, baby. And bada bing, bada boom. Woo-hoo-hoo. Not gonna lie, you cannot go wrong with the Pro Comp Steelies. These look fire. Sheesh. God damn. All right, test drive time. I'm late for the meet, but test drive time. So this is gonna be the first time I drive Winchers on like a busy street since we've done the manual transmission swap. Gonna take it to the exhaust shop right now, and we're gonna be getting that taken care of. A lot of other stuff going on, but let's fire her up. I wanted to give you guys a quick talk before we fired her up because that's why. She's loud, but we're gonna take care of that. Let's get to it. All right, we just got out of the exhaust shop. Oh my God, she drives so good. I fucking love it. Oh my God. This bitch is on 40s and she drives good. Fuck yeah. Oh, she feels great right now. Every time we work on this truck, you get the smile moment. The smile moment, you know, we did it with the motor swap. We did it with the freaking sass. Now we got the smile moment. It's right now. We got some more work to do, but things are looking good. Let's get it, boys. Fucking A. Woo-wee. All right, highway test, Winchers. It's been a while. Oh, what the fuck? I wish it was so hot. I'd drive this to work every day. Oh, this is so nice. She needs gas. Let's go to the gas station. Hello. So today we are working on some details to kind of wrap up the truck because our first shakedown run is tomorrow. We have 2 weeks until the Rubicon, so we got to get this truck ready, make sure it's solid, it's ready to go, it's ready to drive a far distance, although I might be towing it out there. I'd like to drive it, might not, I don't know, we'll figure that out later, but it still needs to drive far because once you finish the trail, you got to drive back to your trailer. So I got to make sure some things are solid. So there's a couple things we're gonna be working on today. We got to zip tie wiring. We got to kind of clean that stuff up from the from the automatic transmission and all those things. We also have to cover the center console because if you guys see inside here, this right here is no bueno. We got to get this covered up, so we're going to be working on that today, and then I got to clean up all of this crap out of here. I got to refill the transfer cases because the flange down there, I ended up changing the flange. Let me show you the old one. Got all my extra diff parts in here. So I ended up changing the flange, but when you pull the flange off, it actually, you know, dumps fluid. So I have to replace the fluid inside the transfer cases because this flange right here that was on that T case didn't fit with our new drive shaft. So I ended up changing it for one of the flanges that I have as an extra. We also got to put on the drive shaft, and then I got the diamond plate, which is what we're going to use for the center console. So I'm just going to measure that, cut the piece, and then we're going to self tap it into there. And then I have some rubber boots that came with the transfer case, and we'll put those on. And then we have hardware. I bought extra hardware for the drive shaft, and then I have the regular hardware right there. And then I'm gonna do a full bolt check and fluid check and everything to make sure it's all solid. There's a lot to do today. Shitty thing is, it is 95 degrees right now. As you guys can see, I'm already sweating it up. So we're gonna have some fun right now. So this is our rough cut for what we're gonna do for like the center console. But I cut out the piece right there, and then this is for the J shifter, this is for high and low, and then fucking Huskies, man, this is for the manual transmission. So I'm just gonna get started cutting this stuff out. All right, not my best work, but that'll do. That will do. Every one of them can shift, and then so that's all good. All right, I think we're all done for today. Pretty much did a bolt check all around. Actually was able to tighten some stuff on the rear drive shaft as well as the cross member, so I was just double checking everything, double check the knuckles. I put the front drive shaft on, so we got our half shaft from Galindo Off-Road, and then the rest of it bolted up just fine. We're gonna take it out tomorrow for a test run, make sure everything's solid, and then from there we still need to do a front axle rebuild, and then we might do a couple other things before we head to the Rubicon, before we end this video. For now, we'll tune in tomorrow. Gold Mountain, one of the fun trails for us, and we're gonna be out there for the intermediate hardlines clinic. Oh! Go driver!
This is Rubicon things right here.
Oh, that's so fucking cool! Not gonna lie, the doublers might be my favorite thing about this truck. It's so nice. All right, we're getting in the home stretch. Hopefully gonna get Winchers finished up this weekend because we are less than a week from the Rubicon. 7 days from now, we're already gonna be on the trail in the thick of it. So we gotta get this truck wrapped up. Now, what are we doing today? We are gonna be working on rebuilding the front axle. We're gonna change the axle seals as well as the wheel bearings. You guys can see right here, I was driving the truck this morning, and just even after a little bit of driving, the axles are already puking out. So both sides need to be changed. When I first did the SAS, that was the one thing I didn't change on the axle. And look, it caught up to me, but we did have a whole year worth of wheeling. So it's all good to go. So I'm gonna jack up the truck, put it on jack stands, and we're gonna get started with all that. Woo! Heavy duty 40. Oh shoot! So you see all that, fellas? That's all Azusa. So now we're gonna have to take apart the locking hub. I'm actually gonna have to drain the diff from the axle because the diff drain on the bottom is so fucked up that I'm not gonna be able to get it off. So that's fine. Alright, let's see what kind of shit's in here. Let's see if everything did its job. Oh, freaking diff fluid already. So I grabbed a little Tupperware to put all your locking hub parts in, because these ones are small. You don't want to lose any of this stuff. It's really important. I always have something in there. That way I can like put some degreaser or some gasoline, something in there to clean it up as well. You're gonna need this to rebuild your hubs. This fits right in there, and that's how you're able to take off the first axle nut, and then there's another axle nut behind that you got to take off. So we're gonna take that one off. We're gonna put it with our locking hub parts. Cool. Axle shafts are out. Sheesh. I'm gonna have to re-grease them because all the oil that went in there. See, we had years of diff fluid, not years, a year of diff fluid going through there. So that's the booger right there. And you can see, well, I just pried it off by right there, but the bottom part, that's all chewed up and mangled, so that's no good. Trash. Next, I'm gonna clean all this up. I'm gonna put the new axle seal on. Luckily, the axle seal has a little lip on the inside of there, so it'll just seat perfectly. That'll be good. All right, up next, we're gonna be doing our bearings. So this is the first one. This one goes on the back side. This is the bigger bearing, and that'll just lay right inside the hub. So you gotta pack these with grease. You also gotta grease the race. I always check the race to make sure it's smooth, make sure there's no problems. I mean, mine's fine. And then we got to put on a new axle seal. To pack the bearing, you're going to want to get some red grease. You go ahead and just take some. You're going to plop it on your hand right there, right in your palm. And then you take the bearing and you just bite little pieces until it starts to spit out the splines. Or the bearings, whatever you want to call it. So you can see it's all packed inside there. And then you can see it coming out right there. So we'll just have to do that a little bit until all these have grease coming out of them. I'm just checking right now. I know there's grease everywhere, but that's kind of the point. But you want to make sure this is all filled up with grease. You want to make sure the back little, you know, the circle around there is filled up with grease. And then, like I said, you want grease. See how there's no grease coming out of right there? So that needs to be packed a little bit more. But you want grease coming out of the little bearings. Grease up that bearing race on the inside right there. And then you want to put a little bit of grease on the inside where the axle seal is going to go. That just sits right inside there flush. That's good to go. Going to take a little bit of grease, put that on the outside of the axle seal. Cool. And then just, that's going to go right there. Just start tapping it into place. So I went and took the Burfield, and what I did was this got separated on its own. I don't know how it got separated, but the cotter pin or the freaking snap ring is still fine, so I don't get what happened there. I went ahead and just kept packing grease into this hole until it pushed out grease right here. So this is all packed with grease, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put that back on the splines like so, and then we're just gonna give it a gentle tap on the floor. Next, we're gonna go ahead and set that to the side. We have our new axle seal right here. These are the ones that came with the SAS kit. You gotta find a socket that is a similar size to the axle seal. So I found a 24, the perfect size right there. I'm just gonna put some gray grease on the inside right there, and then I'll go ahead and put some grease on the outside of the axle seal. I'm gonna go ahead and set that into place. Oh yeah. So you feel inside. In fact, let me just show you guys. You want it to sit flush right inside there. So that's what we got right there. We're good to go. Cool. We're gonna go ahead and put the axle in. I'm gonna go ahead and take some more of the gray grease, and I'm just gonna spread it on the inside of there so there's extra grease inside the knuckle. But we can go ahead and put the axle back in and then go from there. So on your Burfield, you'll find some flat spots. The flat spots go on the top and the bottom, and that's gonna help it line up and kind of twist into place. There it is, see? Right into place. Got our hub in. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and put the brake caliper back on. We're also changing our brake pads. So we got a set of pads from Hawk Performance. We're gonna be tossing these on, so that's gonna help stop these big old 40s. And then I'm just gonna throw everything else back together. And then once we get to the hubs, we have something going on with the hubs. I'll show you what's going on there, but right now it's just reassembly. Up next, I'm gonna be working on the hub. So we're actually gonna change the inside gear right here to a chromoly gear from Trail Gear. So this is the Trail Gear stuff. Here they are right here. So what's cool about this is once you put these in and you shore these up, now my axle shafts are chromoly, these are chromoly. Now the weak point on the axle is going to be the most outer hub, and what's cool about that is these are very, very easy to change, and I have a bunch of extra ones because the IFS hubs have the same exact one, so you can go ahead and use that, which is going to work just fine. And then what I can do is actually take this gear right here, put them into IFS hubs, which, like I said, I have some extra ones, to where now I'll have extra hubs and I'll have chromoly hubs. So hubs is something that I shouldn't have to worry about for a long time. But in order to do this conversion, you're gonna have to take off the snap ring right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and snap that off, and then the gears will fall right out. And then you slide these in, and then you can see where the snap ring will fit right in. So we're gonna get started. All right, so next day, camera ended up running out of battery. I'm stepping in diff fluid, which is always a good time. We ended up finishing up, but we ran into some issues, and then we got some other things that we still got to get taken care of today. Now, first things first, we ended up rebuilding the axle, so it got fresh bearings, fresh seals, and we also did chromoly gears on the locking hubs. What we got to do today, and then probably what's going to wrap up this video, is I'm going to put in the other seat. I'm going to finish up the center console, and then I have some toe points to put on because we're going to be flat towing Winchers to the Rubicon. So we're going to be welding these on. I picked these up on Amazon, and we'll kind of go from there. So we got a little bit of shaving to do right here, but we're going to go ahead and get those welded right there. And then we have recovery, and we have toe points, and then eventually I got to do a bumper and a winch, but we're not going to have time for that before the Rubicon. But for now, we're going to get that on there. And then while he's working on that, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to finish up some of the work inside here. Oh no, not the 4.7. Come back, come back. So we got some holes to cover. So that's why we went ahead and picked these up from Yotamasters. Got 2 of those, and then we had one that was gonna work for the transmission, but pretty simple. This will just go over right there, and then we just gotta bolt that in a fashion that will be good for whatever we're gonna be doing. But that was fast. Sheesh. all done in here. Got our shifters all taken care of. That's all good. And then we got our Honda Prelude seats in. So just got to do the toe mounts. Go from there. We're gonna throw some paint on that, and then I got to do a test drive, make sure that she's gonna tow just fine. So that's what we'll do next. All right, here goes nothing. So got it chained up, got our tow points mounted. I know there's slack in between right there, but that should be fine. Should be solid. That's all ready to go. I do have lights, but I'm only going around the block right now. I'll hook up the lights later for the road, but we're gonna go test it out, make sure that it's gonna tow just fine, kind of go from there. Wish us luck. She's bouncy. So there's a spot coming up where every single time I hit it with Winchers, she gets death wobble. So I'm curious if the truck's gonna get death wobble behind me. I really hope not, but this is gonna be a good test. So here it is. It's always this bump right, this next one, right here. That's got a little bit of a shake going. All right, jumping on the freeway. Now, obviously with the flat towing, you know, you don't want to go too fast, but I do want to be able to at least go maybe 55, 60. So I just got to make sure it's going to maintain that speed and not totally fuck up. That's going to be the main idea there. There it is. Truck did just fine. No real issues. Flat towing as it is already sketchy. You know, it's just, you got to keep it slow. You got to be careful. You got to be light on the brakes. You know, all normal stuff with towing. So that's just how it's going to be for this trip. You know, obviously I want to get a tow pig in the future to where I can actually like tow this legit, but this is what I got to do for now. This is how you guys know this is the most realistic thing. You know, sometimes you got to use one crawler, you know, to tow your other crawler, because that's just how it is. But I think this is a comfortable spot for us to finally wrap up this video. Now, we did a lot in this video. What did we do to Winchers? Well, we did the transmission swap. We went into a manual transmission. We did doublers. We did the 4/7 gears. We did axle rebuilds. We put the truck on 40s. And then we did, you know, kings up front. We set it up for towing. We did new seats. We did a bunch of other things, you know, little knick-knack things here and there, just to continue to make this truck a little bit better on the trails, a little bit more comfortable, and way better performing. If you guys have any questions about this build, all the other things that we've done to the truck, because there has been a series of videos that we've done on this truck. Now, if you're to take away anything from this video, because obviously this isn't a detailed tutorial on how to do doublers, this isn't anything like that. You know, I'll show you guys some tips along the way. I show you my process and I show you all that stuff. But if you learn anything from these videos, learn that you can do it, because just believe me, I am not anybody special. I'm a regular Joe just like the rest of you guys. And when I first bought these trucks, I had no idea what I'm doing. But I've learned little by little. I've asked questions, I've taken things apart, and I've tinkered, and I've just done the research to where now I can learn how to work on this stuff. And obviously I have some really good friends, people that know how to work on stuff, and I have nothing but appreciation for them for helping me out, lending me their hand, lending me their knowledge, everything like that. But it's good to finally get this truck done. Just know, if you guys want to do something like this, you can do it. You just got to get in there, you got to try it, you got to get the parts, and you got to just make it happen. But that's all we got for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Patreon. You also hit us up for shirts, hats, hoodies, and all those other goodies. dirtnationoffroad@gmail.com. We also have the Hardline Heat Tour shirts in stock. So hit us up. You guys can get some Hardline Heat Tour shirts. Also, check out the rest of the dates for the Hardline Heat Tour, because we're going to be hitting all the hard trails all through summer. So check all that stuff out. Up next, we're going to be heading to the Rubicon. Hopefully all goes well, but you guys will find that video on this channel very, very soon. But thank you guys. We will see you again next time. Let's get it.